guys. The stream literally crashed within about 30 seconds of starting it. So once again, welcome to PSGL's F1 League for round 12 of the championship for the Mexican Grand Prix from the fantastic Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. And I will once again introduce you to Luke Green, aka Greenylfc, who will be joining me for the final 3 races of the season. Welcome once again, my friend.
Yep, once again, good evening, Venom, and I think this promises to be a very good race this evening. We've got 16 drivers, and the one of the 2 stop, we don't know which the drivers will adopt, but I think either strategy is very competitive, and with the right people at the wheel, they can pull off the 2 stop, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is one of the few races on F1 2017 where, as you mentioned, we may get quite a few 2-stop strategy, if it's a fully dry race, of course.
Yep, I think if it's the Inters, again, they're going to have to manage them because the tyre wear is so crucial around here with the going for such soft compounds, the Ultras, the Supers and the Softs. So the title battle is heating up here in Mexico.
Just a quick favour, Greeny, could you just change your settings so that the mic doesn't go through the TV because I'm echoing?
The mic...
Should be in the audio settings somewhere for your headset.
Mine's through the headset, yeah.
Strange.
Oh, you want to, yeah.
I can literally hear myself.
Hang on, should I turn it down?
Yeah, maybe it's just through the TV.
Right, how does that sound now?
Well, we'll find out. Yep, perfect. Thank you very much. Right then, so... thanks for joining those so far in the chat. There's 6 of you there. The chat's actually been recently glitched in some of the other streams across not just this league but others, so I don't know if it's going to work for us tonight, but hopefully it does. So then, the usual 12-minute qualifying session, followed by a 50% distance race of this 4.3 kilometer circuit. So let's see what weather we're going to get for this qualifying session, and then we're going to go through the championship standings. I got back literally 15 minutes before this race started, so it's a bit of a rushed introduction tonight, so apologies for that.
Oh, dry qualifying?
Yeah, dry qualifying. That's what we want. Just going to hopefully find out during quali what the weather for the race is going to be. By the looks of it, I don't think the comments are working in the chat again, so GG Sony, GG. So
I've just asked Big C what the race weather is, so
alright, excellent.
If one of us gets a response, that'd be lovely.
Right then, so let's go through the championship standings then. It's a 3-way title fight, 3 rounds to go. Cliffy on 105 points, he had his lead cut again to 14 points, 91 points for Ashbest, and Lewis W03, probably the outsider for the championship at this point. He's on 82 points, but still plenty of points to play for, as we see a lot of the grid flying out for their ultimate laps.
Ooh, and Ash is first out, as you'd expect.
Yep, he wasn't last week, probably the only race this season he hasn't been, but he's restored his streak, so to speak. And speaking of streaks, Aaron's points run unfortunately ending last week, but he has a little announcement to make after this race, so stick around for the podium for that. And just before I talk to Greeny about the other elements of this race, a quick look at the Constructors' Championship. Well, Mercedes, with 3 rounds to go, look odds-on favourites to secure that particular title. 150 points for them, with a 34-point advantage to Haas, who have had a brilliant second half of the season, but I think it's too little too late for them to realistically take it. Ferrari on 99 points, so and Force India and McLaren looking to hit the 100-point mark this evening. And given the calibre of the drivers some of those teams have, don't doubt all 3 teams hitting the 100-point mark tonight. So Greeny, this particular track, it's not been used that much in PSGL history, of course, because it only recently returned to the real-life calendar. But what is your opinion on this track?
I think in terms of the real-life Grand Prix, I think it's a bit of a dull affair. I mean, they tried to make it as good as it can be with the 2 long straights, the opportunity to get a slingshot at the final corner, but due to the fact that it's the highest altitude circuit on the calendar, it makes it very difficult. But in terms of the F1 game, I think as long as we don't get slipstream glitch tonight, and mixed with a 2-stop strategy potentially, they'll make for a very, very interesting and competitive race.
Indeed. So, just need to share the stream with the community. So
Ash looks very good for the first 3 corners, and it's not a bad first sector.
No,
he
not at
really
all.
excels in the middle sector from what I've seen.
Yeah, the first sector very similar to last week's Italian Grand Prix in that it's 2 long straights split by a chicane, and then sector 2 somewhat reminiscent of the S section in US and British Grand Prix, and then a very tricky braking zone at the end of sector 2, which can catch out drivers. Oh, Ash has cut that, so that's definitely an invalidation. I think he did that previous corner at Ashbest, cutting several corners. I think he's going to try and get another run in or go straight back to the pits, and indeed he does. So let's see if anyone else. Very easy to validate here.
In the middle sector, so let's see what we can do. I mean, definitely the fastest pad driver in this league, and I think he's cut that as well. So I think they're struggling early on, maybe just using the jokers now, trying to get that good lap in early.
Yes, AMS setting early pace in with 1:15.716. We expect the pole time to be at least in the low 15s, and a few of the drivers on the grid certainly capable of going into the 14s, as Skeevan does a 1:15.402. So,
that's a very good lap.
Yeah, Skeevan has had a few impressive qualifying sessions this season. It's a shame his internet connection at times has not been that impressive either, so he would have had a lot of good results otherwise. Only five times so far.
Yep, I mean, a lot of invalidations from what I've seen so far. I mean, the track is very difficult and everyone's trying to maximise as much lap time as possible. It's a great first sector. He's purple, so can the Haas driver go stick it on pole perhaps? Yeah,
interestingly, Cliffy, the championship leader, hasn't come out yet, and we've already got just over 7.5 minutes of the session, so it's going really quickly. We're going to stay on board with Lickle for a few more moments just to see what he does, as Lordy Boy goes 6th with a 1:16.541.
I mean, in Silverstone, Cliffy got caught out by the strategy that he's doing. He didn't go out until around 4 minutes to go, and by the time he invalidated his lap, it was too late to come back and go out for another run. So he ended up starting last, and obviously that was perhaps a changing point in the championship when he DNF.
It certainly was, and I think at this stage of the season, I think getting... Yeah, 1:15 flat from Lickle, and that is a statement of intent to the rest. AMS though, not far behind with Lewis, so it's a Haas 1-2 right now. So, you know, if Mercedes don't have a good race, although they're quite far behind still, there's still plenty of points to play for. So, you know, MaxiLuca has got to really do a job for his teammate today in terms of the Constructors' Championship and try and get some good points.
Yeah. And in terms of Cliffy's form, I wouldn't even say it's been particularly bad. I just think Ash and Louis have really stepped it up the second half of the season. He's not been very bad at all. He's got P2 in Hungary, obviously top 5 in Monza with that collision with Oogie, which is a bit controversial, but we've got some extremely fast and consistent drivers now in the F1 League, which are adding to the credibility.
Yes, and the PSGL official Twitter for F1, this particular league, they had an interesting graphic of the points advantage which Cliffy has lost since Canada when he won that particular race. It just goes to show you how much pressure he's under now. He had at one point he had an over 40-point advantage, and now, or nearly 40-point advantage, and now it's a mere 14, which can easily be caught up in 3 races.
And that's really going to affect your mentality. With such a commanding lead, and then to lose it all, you've got to learn how to regroup, and he's got to charge at these last 3 races and hopefully outscore Ash here if he wants to get back some momentum and take a grip on the title as he did early on in the season.
Indeed, and Shortbread appears to have put on some super soft tyres, so he'll be coming out soon. So different strategy from the second Ferrari driver. Now what about Cliffy? Cliffy's still in the pit, so he is putting it all on the line for one run. If he invalidates it, he is going to start outside the top 10. So this is a high risk strategy from the championship leader in terms of the qualifying. He's only going to get time for one run by the looks of it.
Ash is on the lap, he's in the stadium section now. He's done that very well. It doesn't look like he's been on the edge this lap, but it looks very neat and tidy, and it could challenge Lickle to the top step. Can he break into the 14?
Bit of oversteer at the back of the car, and yes, he takes it just. Lovely. McLaren driver on the front doing what he needs to do in terms of championship battle and putting all the pressure on Cliffy, because he would have seen that time appear on the screen, and now he's got to come out and respond.
Yeah, absolutely. Big C is he in the final sector with his out laps, so he's looking to improve the set lap time. With his lack of practice, he shouldn't really be in the running here, but as a 7-time champion, he can dwell on his experience here.
Well,
and hopefully get himself.
Let's go on board with Big C and Greeny, if you can take us through a lap of this circuit.
So he's accelerating now down the infamous main straight, and he's got to spot the 100-metre braking board on the left-hand side here. Very difficult turn 1, and he looks to have negotiated that well. Bit of a lock up on the front. Now the key here is to just take that lot of curve there, and he's set that up beautifully if that's not on validation. Bit of oversteer on the exit, and he's looking now again for the 100-metre braking board, and he wants to maximise his entry for the next turn because it's a very tight corner. We've seen a lot of incidents over the years here, and he's negotiating this well. Now the middle sector, this is the bravest of the brave. You need to be committed in order to get a good lap here, but at the same time he can't overcommit and invalidate, and he's doing very well here, negotiating the S section. Ooh, bit of, yeah, if that's not invalidated then he's probably a bit lucky, but he's doing a good job here. Now the stadium, you've got to brake as late as you can and make the apex, and yeah.
He's invalidated, not the first one. So Cliffy then coming out then on his out lap, and this could be, if he can get pole position here, this would probably be the best lap he's done in a qualifying session this season. Certainly the most important, given how Ashbest and Lewis are first and third at this stage of the session, with just over 2.5 minutes of the session to go.
Yeah, and can he pull out a Lewis Hamilton lap here? His Australia lap time was so good, he obliterated the rest of the field. And Cliffy, his weakness seems to be his qualifying. We know he's got the pace, but he doesn't extract it all the time in these qualifying sessions.
Well, both his title rivals in the pits at the moment, and they're preparing to come out for their final runs. Lickle's come out, he's about to start a lap. Don't count him out for the battle for pole, but it's a very, very close grid. Let's just have a look at the gaps. Only 9 drivers have actually set a lap time that's representative, but less than a second between the top 6. But there's some big guns out there still who are going to go for lap time. So Lickle is going to be the first, and then Cliffy is probably nearly 15 seconds behind him on track. So Lickle, looks like these are the 4 drivers. Maybe Big C as well, Oogie as well, we know he qualifies well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I can see from the graphic it looks like Cliffy's fueled himself for 2 runs, but he's going to have to negotiate traffic here, and yep, he's already invalidated. The pressure is on for the championship leader. Oh
no, Cliffy, this is what happens if you leave it all to the final run, especially on a track like this where you can easily invalidate. This is what can happen. Well, the pressure now for the final run is absolutely enormous, and he can't really hold off. He's going to have to charge, and he could even risk a next lap invalidation trying to get across the line. I think Lickle actually invalidated his second run. Yep.
Yeah. Well, this is the most important qualifying of his PSGL career here for Cliffy. If he bottles this now, he's under immense pressure coming into the last 2 rounds. Skeevan into the 14s. Really
yeah,
a lap from him.
Yeah, Skeevan, we've seen this before. At times his qualifying pace has been absolutely sensational, and he is indeed the first into the 14, so that is fantastic from the Toro Rosso driver. Cliffy about to prepare for his final run, so I think Ashbest, just going to have a look at Ashbest quickly just to see what he's up to, because I think he's on his out lap. Yep, he's about to start one, and Lewis as well. So let's focus on Cliffy first. So let's see if he can get through this lap without invalidating. Negotiates turn 1, turn 2, nice and smooth. That was neat and tidy, no problem with that.
And I'll keep a quick eye on Ash.
Skeevan retires, so that's his qualifying done.
Cliffy didn't attack the first 2 corners the same way that he did the last lap, so he's obviously feeling it. Doesn't want to invalidate him.
No, and this is the section which is the most dangerous for an invalidation.
Shortbread, P7 with supers. Great lap, really good lap.
Yes, just saw that pop up, so Shortbread, that will give him a strategy advantage, and he must be looking for the 1 stop. Oh, Cliffy runs wide, nearly invalidates the front end. not really to his liking, but if he can get a decent lap in the top 6, we'll have it. Lickle goes for 1:14.927, but what does Cliffy do? He's heading for the line now.
Ash is flying. Ash is doing a great lap here, it seems. He's really committed, and he's in the stadium section now. He's got one corner to negotiate.
And I think Lewis is right behind him.
Heading for provisional pole. He's in. What can he do? Yes, this is a great lap. And he goes on pole.
And Lewis crosses, and Lewis takes it out of the death by a 10th. Wow.
What a lap. That is a phenomenal lap. And we've got second and third in the championship order, starting 1 and 2. But as you've said before, starting P1 round here is not an advantage.
No, it certainly isn't. Well, it's a Haas sandwich between Ashbest at the top of the grid. Cliffy did enough to get in the top 6, so he won't be too disappointed at that. He's keeping his title rivals in sight, and that's what he needed to do. So, job done. Shortbread, though, he's the one to watch. 8th place on the Super Softs. Yep. Big C, well, and Maxi starting at the back. That's notable, those two. So, lots of invalidations out there. So, that is an intriguing qualifying session. But what a sensational end that was. Ashbest must have thought he'd done it, but Lewis, right there, at the right time with the track evolution, with a perfect lap. Great stuff.
Yeah, Lewis, Ash, and who was the third place? Skeevan, I think it was.
Lickle Blocks is in third position, so could be some team orders in play. So Lickle, if Lickle can get in front of Ashbest at the start and allow Lewis to run away, and it is indeed a dry race, at bright sunshine here in Mexico City as we're about to go racing very, very shortly.
This is very, very exciting. But elsewhere on the calendar, P6 would not be a great starting position for Cliffy, but round here it's good, and he's very lucky from that P6. I believe Brazil and Austria, where he went on to win, he started P6, so are the omens good here for Cliffy? Can he win?
Well, early on in the season, Cliffy was the most informed driver on all of PSGL, but he's got to find some of that form again if he wants to. I do feel he needs to win at least one of the final 3 races to seal the championship, but there's a long way to go in this one. And here come the 5 red lights. Lewis first, Ashbest second, Lickle third. Slight delay, but lights out and away we go. It's a good start from Lewis. Will Ashbest cut in to get the slipstream? Indeed he does. He cuts right in front of Lickle. Oh, and there's going to be several free wide situations here in the midfield. But Lewis is actually in a good position for turn 1. Ashbest is not going to have a good angle to attack. But look at Lickle going round the outside of Ashbest. And that's a brilliant move.
Yep, brilliant.
Brilliant move.
P5. Good stuff from him as well, going around the outside of Skeevan, who's dropped significantly 2 positions.
And Ashbest is going to try and come back at Lickle, but that is exactly the start that Lewis would have dreamed of.
1 and 2.
Indeed, and now Lickle can act as a blocker, at least for a couple of laps, to give Lewis a chance to get away, because we've seen in races this season, when Lewis has got into the lead, he has just ran away with it. So Ashbest has got to get past Lickle as quickly as he can. Cliffy, though, up to 5th, so he's not losing too much ground, but he's going to have to get past AMS, and that is easier said than done.
Yeah, and the question here is, will Lickle act as a rear gunner for his teammate, or is he fancying glory himself? I mean, the championship's getting heated now with 3 rounds to go, and Louis needs all the points he can get in this championship fight.
Indeed he does. So lap 1 then, race order: Lewis, Lickle, Ashbest, AMS, Cliffy, Skeevan, XJackLacey, Shortbread, Joel and Oogie. Let's just have a look, see who gained what on the first lap. And Oogie is pitting. Is that going to be for a wing change, Luke?
Oh dear. Yes, he's damaged his wing, and so is Big C. Disastrous starts there.
Yeah. Well, I think any chance Ferrari had of getting runner-up in the constructors probably going up in smoke right now.
Yeah, definitely. Shortbread and Jack having a tussle here. Jack regains the position. Shortbread, the highest Supersoft runner, the highest alternate man, and he's looking to the inside. He doesn't go for it. He backs out. There's a bit of history between these two.
A bit of a cut of oversteer from XJackLacey just then, but let's go back to Lickle, because he is losing ground to his teammate. Maybe that's on purpose. But Ashbest now, he'll get DRS at the end of this lap for the main straight for lap 3 when it's activated, of course. So the top 3 already establishing a little bit of an advantage to AMS, and Cliffy, well, he's going to be one to watch at the next lap, because he needs to try and get this move done on the Red Bull driver right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the big gainers this far, Maxi's up 6 positions. That puts him in a real good position. We know that Maxi, on his day, he's one of the quickest drivers out there, and his wheel-to-wheel racing has improved endlessly this season. So he can definitely improve up the order. He could be a dark horse for the podium on those supers.
Well, Cliffy closing onto the back of that Red Bull. So he's going to go from AMS. Doesn't really go defensive. He just had enough straight line speed. Yeah, but I think Cliffy needed the DRS. He'll get that next lap. But Skeevan, though, he's right there. So Cliffy's got to watch himself a little bit because that Toro Rosso is looking rather feisty.
Yep, and the top 3 noticeably are getting away, which is key for Cliffy because he really needs to hang on to the back of them. And if he gets stuck behind the driver, the undercut and the 2-stop is certainly an option I would be considering. Yes,
but Lewis and Lickleblock certainly not, you know, dropping back from his teammate. It's less, well, just about a second between the top 3. But yeah, AMS certainly doesn't have the pace to keep up with the top 3 unless it's really hurting Cliffy. It will if he's stuck behind him for any more laps than this. Needs to get the move done now, you would think.
Absolutely. I mean, the Ultras are only going faster than the Supers, I'd say, for about 5 laps this race. And then the Supers will come into their own as the tyre wear will get pretty hard for these guys. And depending if they one stop, they're going to have to manage the tyres. Maybe what Louis is doing and why he's not extending the gap. And Lick will soon DRS, but Ash is the one who's closest in the top 3 right now.
Yes, indeed, but because of the DRS, Ashbest is not able to challenge. But what about AMS and Cliffy? Here we go then. Cliffy going for a move on AMS for 4th place. And they go side by side through 1 and 2. Can AMS defend through
lovely.
2?
This is brilliant wheel to wheel. Cliffy squeezes them out. I think that's fair enough. He had the racing line. Skeevan with a penalty. He's going to swamp AMS,
yes.
As well, so
they go side by side.
For AMS.
He's lost 2 places, but I think there was a sort of sense of inevitability about that. But look how much it's cost Cliffy, 2.8 seconds behind Ashbest. But he's got plenty of time to catch that back up.
Yeah, and the question is, can he catch up?
Has he got the pace to get back to the top 3? Because I'll tell you what, if Cliffy catches him up, we're going to have a sensational 4-way fight for this race win.
We are indeed. And people don't need to get too disheartened at the position this far because penalties will play a part with it being very difficult and the track limits can easily rack up around here. So AMS just needs to keep his cool, keep composed and get into that rhythm and hopefully he can stick behind with the DRS and slipstream.
Now, interestingly, Lickleblock, if anything, is closer to his teammate out in front than Ashbest is behind. So
he can have a run here.
I think he is, you know.
But really go for it, with it being his teammate. Perhaps a bit kinder than he would be on other drivers.
Yeah,
he's sticking behind. I think that's a very...
bit of twitch of oversteer from Lewis, and that's almost put him into the front of his own teammate, but gets away with it. JackLacey picks up 3 seconds of time. Won't be the last penalty we see. But here we go, the 2 Haas drivers going at it, Ashbest, and let's just have a look at the gap. Well, you know, Cliffy, he's in clean air now, but he's actually dropping time. He's over 3 seconds behind Ashbest, so the top 3... But right now, anyway, the quickest in the race, no question.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that Lickle has got less fuel than Louis, so maybe he was planning on sticking with Louis, not using the fuel, so that he can save his tyres with less fuel. And Ash has got the most out of these. He's running lean at the moment, perhaps saving his fuel for when it matters.
Yes, saving his tyres, because I think it's going to be very difficult for him to overtake Lickle as long as he's got DRS. So maybe he's going to wait for a mistake from Lewis so that Lickle can get past and maybe sneak past him as well. But to be fair, good exit out of the final corner by Lewis, so Lickle could be under more pressure from Ashbest this time.
Yeah, I think this time round the gap's a bit too big for anyone to make a move. Actually though, Ash does look like he's catching slightly. We know that Ash does like a dive bomb, but he's improved that over the season. He had a reputation with his wheel-to-wheel race and he's improved that a lot. Same with Maxi. Drivers have improved the most, I'd say, this season.
Yeah, I agree with that. Lickle running wide out of turn 3 then, and that allows Ashbest to get a little bit closer, but again, he's frustrated by the DRS, and Lickle keeps getting off his teammate.
Paudie lost his one, I think. Oh no, did he?
Could be it.
It looks like no foot.
Quite an early pit stop, if it is a tactical change.
And Maxi now with a 3-second penalty. This track is really brutal.
Yeah.
I'd say Lickle looks the best in the middle sector though. despite the dirty air.
Yeah, Maxi getting a penalty is no surprise. I think he gets a penalty at every single track. I think he's maybe there's some sort of hidden achievement or trophy I don't know about. But anyway, Ashbest looking to close in on second place again, but it's kind of a stalemate because of the DRS. So, oh, and Ashbest, oh, he nearly loses the front end there, and he saves it. JD out of the race.
He doesn't leave the session though.
Yeah,
that would really ruin what's looking to be a very good race. And Cliffy, he's not gaining unless he's saving tyres, and he's got Skeevan to defend from. Maybe in turn
let's have a quick look at JD. He is retired just after the S's in sector 2. So yeah, broken front suspension, game over for the Williams driver.
Yeah, and I believe the first pit stops could be any time soon if you're going for a 2-stop. If you're going for the 1-stop, lap 13 to 14, would you think?
Yeah, I think at least. But I do think doing a 1-stop on the ultra softs to the super softs would be extremely difficult. We'll have to see how long Shortbread goes from, because that will give us a good indicator of how long the super softs will last in this race. So he's running in 7th at the moment, so he's in a decent position right now. If he does a 1-stop, you can't rule out Shortbread from having a little fight for the podium, or at least even 4th place. So the likes of Ashbest and Cliffy, when they pit, they'll not want to be caught behind Shortbreads. That's going to be maybe the gap they want to get into later on.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the gap this lap. He started for 8 seconds and he's gained the 10. So as I said, the super softs are coming back now. Shortbread, he's a very capable driver. In season 17, he put on a great performance with some lovely moves in the stadium section, and he might use that experience of what he did in the past to get past a few drivers and defend if it comes to it.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating race so far. It's kind of a calm before the storm. It might take the pit stops to separate some of these guys, and it's not surprising seeing how difficult it is to overtake, because everyone's going to be running very similar setups, much like Monza in fact. It's not too far off. It's not quite as low wing setup as Monza, but it's not far off.
Yeah, I think 1.8 wings is sort of the region we're looking at, 10 ballast, so the tyres will take a beating, because the higher the ballast, obviously the more tyre they get, but this is the way they got to run the cars. It's a lot faster. Lewis has made a mistake in the middle. Lickle's right on the back of him now.
Yeah,
2/10 difference.
Lickle is licking his lips here and looking to get past his teammate. The Ultrasoft's clearly going off the lead car, and this is the place you don't want to be. But to be fair, Lewis is set up pretty good in the straight line. That's probably the only reason why Lickle hasn't been able to have a go at him.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, although he said that he might stick behind, if he sticks behind for too long, Ash might get a sniff at him and he can get through, which is not bad. I mean, it's bad for both of them.
Yeah, Lewis is going defensive. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Lewis really vulnerable in this race. Lickle will really drive around the outside. Brilliant braking.
Lewis should get the exit though. But yeah, no, Lickle does that very well, but he is in the slipstream now, but he has the DRS crucially. Yeah, you get the double DRS here. So, and I think Lewis is, he had half a look. I thought he was going to lunge down the inside of his teammate. Imagine if they taken each other out. Ashbest would have been, thank you very much. That would have been a disaster, but Lewis just needs to keep his head now. He can stay behind Lickle and he can save fuel and tyres now. So it might work out better for the both of them. Yeah, and the top 3 not really under threat from anyone else behind, because Cliffy, somewhat surprisingly, hasn't really found the pace to catch up to these 3, even though Lewis has been holding up Lewis and Ashbest, Lickle and Ashbest up to that point. Yeah, but with a change of lead, he did gain 5 tenths on the last lap, but obviously that was due to the change of the lead. If he can get in the slipstream, that is crucial, but in order to do that, I can only feel that he has to pit early, which will put him in danger towards the end of the race. Yeah, and interestingly, Ash is in. Ashbest's in, so he's made a decision to pit early. Is this a 2-stop? Let's see what tyre he goes on. If it's a super soft, this is what we wanted to see. I believe it's going to be super softs. Yes. It is super softs, but where will he come out? And Cliffy has matched him. He's come in as well. XJackLacey. Well, now that is interesting. I don't think he can make it to the end personally. I think that's a bad strategy called by Cliffy. Unless he can go to the ultras, but he'd surely just go supers to ultras or super. Well, the softs do last a very long time in this game.
Ash behind Aaron.
He will catch up to him.
Yeah,
I imagine very quickly. And Aaron is not somebody you want to be behind. He is a difficult customer.
Oh, and while that was going on, Lewis has retaken the lead of the race.
Oh yeah, we missed that.
Yeah, so
a lot of action going on there.
Indeed, but we had to keep an eye on the strategy for two of the title contenders. But Lewis back in front. Now this is crucial actually. Lewis for his race. If he pits now, and Lickle wanted to pit at the same time, then that move will be vital because it means he can pit when he wants to. Otherwise, the Haas team would have to double stack. And if that had been Lewis in the second car position, that would have been a complete disaster for him.
Yeah, he stays out, which is good, because I believe if he pitted, he'd almost certainly be undercut by Ash. So he needs to stick it out now, and Lickle's in the pits, but he needs to go for the one stop if he's going to be...
Oh, Skeevan gets a 5 second stop and go on, and Shortbread's disconnected.
Oh,
and he was in second as well, and he was just about to pass AMS.
That is a disaster. Joel's in fourth though, and he's only 3 seconds off these guys. So he's doing a wonderful job.
He is.
Really good from Joel.
So Ashbest has got out in front of Lickle.
Yeah, very comfortably. Look at that. Huge undercut, and Ash has got a lot of pace, as I said. He is absolutely flying now. Oh, Lickle on the softs, again, I don't think they can make it to the end, but we will see.
Yeah, Ashbest is going to have to put in one of the best stints of the season though to make this work. It's one thing having the faster tyres, it's not getting caught up in traffic, because the softs could still be the ultimate strategy if Ashbest can't get out of the traffic quickly enough.
Yeah, and crucially Cliffy is behind Lordy, and again Lordy is a very difficult customer like Aaron himself. They're both very experienced, been around a long time, but I doubt Lordy's in any mood to give up the position easily.
No, well he's missed so much track time this season with that 4 race ban, so Lordy, you know, he'll be wanting to get some points today desperately.
Oh, and Cliffy's catching up to him very quickly in the middle. Will Lordy go defensive? He's going half-hearted, and Cliffy, yeah, he's going to stick behind for
and the race leader pits. So will now
Cliffy up the inside.
Gonna super softs for Lewis.
That's interesting.
Ashbest sets fast lap.
Actually, it's showing me that he's on softs.
It's a massive undercut from Ashbest though. Look at this, and I think
huge.
And Lickle, yeah, Lickle's got past him as well.
Both passes on the softs. I reckon they're going to try and get to the end, but can they? And Ash, he's going to be charging at the end. He's going to be very quick if he chooses supers or the ultras. Yeah,
well, it's 3 second time is Skeevan.
Joel having a good scrap on the track. Joel's trying to go for the move. Wonderful into the double right-hander, and he's pushed him wide. Lovely move by Joel.
Yeah, up second. A bit of glory for the Renault driver, so nice stuff from him. The Maxi doing an okay job. In third, he's on the softs. Yeah. So a long stint for him. I'd imagine he'll be trying to get to the super softs maybe around lap 20.
Yeah, and just to put into context the undercut, Ash has gained 5 seconds, and he wasn't even in the lead when he pitted, so I'd say that's an overall net gain of 6 seconds in the pit stops over just the space of 3 laps.
Yes, but
and he's only going to extend that gap on the supers.
This is an important moment though for Ashbest. He's made the undercut work, but he is right behind Aaron.
And he's let him through.
Well, no, Aaron made a mistake. No, but Aaron actually made a mistake coming out of the final corner. He went wide. Yes, the back end kicked out a little bit. So that's there is no way Aaron would have let him through.
AMS came in as well. He's on the softs. He's lost a lot of time. He's been undercut by Jack. Cliffy. Well, he's already had Cliffy, wasn't he? But still, he's lost a lot of time respective to the people he was fighting.
Yeah, well, this is certainly one of the strongest undercuts I've seen from any of the tracks this season. Especially, you know, Ashbest, that was amazing outlap pace, which got him that. So now Lickle and Lewis will catch up to Aaron, assuming he doesn't pit anytime soon. And, well, they're on the soft tyres, so they're not going to have a tyre advantage as much as Ashbest did. So passing Aaron could be tricky for them.
Yeah, and he's extending the gap even further. It was 5 seconds last lap. It's now 6.5 seconds. So he's gaining incredible amounts on these supers. In my opinion, they've messed up. They allowed him to undercut, and I don't think he's going to get him at the end of the race if he doesn't mess up.
Yeah, so now, so Maxi leading this race, and Ashbest has already caught up to the back of Joel and Maxi. I mean, this race pace is absolutely incredible from Ashbest on these super softs.
Again, isn't it?
It really is.
Fastest lap, 17.8. That is incredible.
Yep, certainly making the McLaren Honda look like a Mercedes at the moment. It's incredible stuff. But the liquid blocks now just under 2 seconds behind. But you know, I wonder what his teammate's thinking, Lewis, because he stayed out the extra lap when he did have the chance to pit first. Now he's behind his teammate. So Ashbest now looking for a move, which would put him up to second position.
Joel doesn't go defensive. I think this is wise by Joel. He's in a good position here. He could get some really good points, and that's a good move. But interesting, on the last lap, 8 tenths was the gap between Lickle and Ash's lap, and that is, if he continues this pace, that is worrying for the Haas team.
It certainly is, because if Lickle and Lewis are going to the end of the race on the softs, then that's not going to work.
Oh, 3-second time penalty as well. That's not good. Lickle is in a bad position now.
But the thing,
and he's catching up to Aaron.
He certainly is, but 3-second time penalty, that's going to only help Ash's course. So going to keep an eye on Ashbest for the now, because I think he's going to go for the lead of this race over Ashbest, and Shortbread unfortunately unable to join, so really bad luck for him.
Gutting for him, and Aaron Pitts.
Aaron Pitts. Yep, so that's Super Softs, 15 laps then on the Super Softs.
Cliffy's caught up, he's not undercut. He is catching. And he's in
Ashbest going for an optimistic move, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty as a result. I don't think he needed to do that, to be honest with you. That's a bit of a mistake.
Sorry. And Maxi and him have got a lot of history. Maxi goes defensive. He is not going to want to let Ash through. And he's squeezing him, and this is questionable from Maxi. I don't think he's been particularly fair there. I think that was on the limit, but he's defending for what he's worth.
He certainly is, but no damage for either driver. Ashbest now, I wonder if that gets him a bit hot under the collar, but he needs to keep his cool because he's in such a good position, but he needs to clear this Mercedes. Mercedes struggling for front end grip, as you can see through the S section, because he's been on those tyres for 15 laps.
A massive tyre difference, and I think he should breeze past him, but he's losing a lot of time. He's lost 3 seconds, I believe, just from this scrap alone. That is monumental.
Yeah, now he's got to try and get the move done now. Decent exit for Maxi. But now Ashbest
2.5 seconds off.
Should have all the advantage. Joel pitch then, so that's another obstacle that the Haas cars and Cliffy don't have to go around. Defensive from Maxi then. So this looks a little personal between these two.
Oh.
He squeezes him out again, and look at all the Haas cars in the background catching up. This is compromising Ash's strategy massively. It's kind of similar to when, I forget which driver, I think Gamer was stuck behind a Sauber last season in Japan. Oh, it's a lunge.
Oh, what a move.
He's done it.
Excellent. That is a great move. Fair play to Ash.
He had to get it done.
He was getting stuck behind for the middle sector if he wasn't getting past there.
That was a brilliant...
Maxi defended for what he's worth.
Yeah, he was entitled to do. He was for position. I think it was borderline at times, but, you know, Ashbest, that was a fantastic late braking manoeuvre then. And he leads this race. Now he's got to get a move on, but I wonder if that's, you know, not just in terms of time, but has that sort of mucked up his tyres a little bit as well? All that furious scrapping for 2 laps.
That incident alone could be title deciding.
It could be. But that's the thing. To make a 2-stop work here, it is all about the luck with the traffic.
Will Maxi let Lickle and Lewis go?
Well, I'm not sure if Maxi is particularly a big fan of either of the Haas drivers, but he'll probably make it a little easier than Ashbest, to be fair. It looks
he's not defending here.
No. But Lickle didn't go for the move. He's defending
time here behind him.
Yeah, he's defending through those through turns 2 and 3. But Maxi just pulls to the right. He's going to try and defend it on the outside, but I think he's just it's not officially letting him through, but he didn't exactly make it difficult.
Yeah, the resistance, you can tell, was much different to what it was on Ash. So, I mean, he's done his job. He has definitely helped out his teammate in terms of title fight, because Ash is under pressure now for the rest of this race to make the 2-stop work. He's lost so much time behind them that it's going to be difficult for him to make that time back up.
Yeah, he's going to be mighty fast though at the end of the race. So I mean, he could absolutely smash the lap record. Now Lewis challenging for third position on track at the moment. Maxi probably not long from pitting for the super softs.
Yeah, and interestingly, I'd say Lickle has been the faster of the two Haas drivers in the second stint. We know that Lewis is ultra consistent and he's one of the quickest, if not the quickest.
Indeed, he is.
He's been done by his teammate here. This should be a pretty easy move down to turn one. He's very close and essentially in the DRS. It's very overpowered. Yeah,
Maxi goes a bit more defensive than he did with Lickle, but I think Lewis is going to get this done pretty simply, and he sweeps then into third place. Fantastic stuff.
We're back as it was. But it switched around. In the first stint it was Lewis, Lickle and Ash. It's now Ash, Lickle and Lewis.
Now, interesting is, I'm sure Maxi will probably just wave his teammate by, you would think. I don't know what their relationship in the team is like, but I haven't heard bad things. So,
well, Maxi was that way.
Yeah, well, that is
the right thing to do.
Absolutely. In terms of the championship, I think Cliffy, if he wins the championship, I'm sure he'll pay him back for that at some point.
What we also have to bear in mind is, Ash is going to have to overtake his championship rival Cliffy to get to the top step of the podium, and as Cliffy said in the last few races, he is going to start defending and fighting a lot harder than he was. I think he's been angered by what's happened previously, and he wants to take a grasp on that title.
Just going to have a quick look at Skeevan. XJackLacey and Skeevan both on the super soft tyres. They're fighting for 6th position, so it's a bit of a lull in the battle for the lead at the moment, waiting for more pit stops if indeed they happen. So then, Skeevan in the DRS and the slipstream of the Force India ahead. Can he get a run on XJackLacey? I think he might have half a chance here.
Go for the move.
He'll get the second DRS, so XJackLacey's got to get the next corner right. Does a decent job of it, better than Skeevan slightly.
And just to note, Joel, he's got two definite drivers in the pits of Maxi and Paudie because they haven't pitted yet. We've got Skeevan, Jack, who are they're on the 2-stop, I believe. So that's 4 positions, which put Joel in P6.
Skeevan just chipped off the left side of his wing and the back of XJackLacey, so
that's race over.
He had such a good first stint, and then it's all gone wrong after his first pit stop where he got a 5-second time penalty. He's going to get that stop and go served when he replaces his wing now. So Skeevan is bad. He hasn't disconnected today, but his bad luck continues.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ash is extending the gap. He's got it up to 4.2 seconds. And interestingly, Lewis hasn't got in DRS of his teammates, so I don't know if he's fuel saving, tyre saving, but that's a bit suspect. We'd expect him to be on the back of Lickle as Lickle overtakes the AI car and laps Shortbread, who is looking in a very good position to fight for the podium, I believe.
Yeah, so Maxi goes on to the super softs for his final part of the stint. So yeah, a good soft stint from Maxi. Not sure where he's going to come out. He'll be outside the top 10. But
Joel being Lordy part 2. Joel goes to the inside and he makes the move to Z. Yeah, good move. I think him and Lordy in the past they've had. I think they've smoothed it over now and they're good friends again.
Yes, well, Joel and Aaron both in the points for Renault, so Renault looking good for a result here, and Aaron will be up the next driver to challenge Lordyboy for position. So then let's do a run through of the race order. So we have Ashbest on the super softs, but we think he's going to have to pit again. Lickle blocks in second, Lewis in third, Cliffy in fourth, XJackLacey in fifth, AMS in sixth, Joel in seventh, Lordyboy in eighth, Aaron in ninth, and Maxi has actually come out in 10th place, just behind the battle between Joel, Lordyboy and Aaron. So I think we're going to have a quick look at Maxi to see what kind of pace he has on those brand new fresh super softs. So we're in sector, just the end of sector 2 now, sector 3, lap 21 then of this PSGL Mexican Grand Prix, this amazing stadium section which has to be up there as the best podium in Formula 1.
Definitely. He's getting stuck behind these two, he's losing a lot of time, as you can see.
Oh, this could be the first free wide we've seen in the race.
Yeah. Aaron sizing up Lordy, Maxi sizing up the pair of them on those fresh supers. You'd imagine he'd be the fastest guy on track, but he's not gaining. There's somebody left, and Maxi.
Well, Maxi goes for a move on the right with the grip.
Oh, beautiful.
Good defending.
Great defending there.
Yeah, Aaron, the wily fox that he is, using all of that experience to keep ahead of Maxi, so that was impressive there, but fair play to Lordy. He's a sitting duck at this point. Oh, and a tag by Maxi. Tag. And the Renault and Mercedes.
Aaron doesn't like that, and Maxi, well, that's dirty.
Oh, he's got a time penalty anyway.
Penalty.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think
he tried to overtake off the track. That was never going to work, but I think Aaron gave him a polite nudge off the track to send way forward of that.
Oh.
Nice helicopter view as the Renault and Mercedes go through the S's. Lordy boy under enormous pressure. And look how much time Joel's gained up the road, 3.5 seconds.
And Jack is in for his second stop now.
He is indeed, and now Maxi trying to go around Lordy and Aaron in space of 2 corners, and I think he's going to do it.
He's been squeezed.
Oh, he's cut the corner again.
He's cut there to get past.
Has indeed. Well.
That's questionable, and he could see himself in the stewards later for that.
Well, maybe, but Aaron is going to try and come back at Lordy boy. Is Lordy boy going to have DRS? Yes, he does. Maxi's got no DRS, so actually...
Yeah, 5 seconds stop go for that. He's losing... Yeah, Maxi's ruined his own race.
Illegal overtake. And look at that, XJackLacey's come out just behind him, so despite having a fairly quiet race, XJackLacey could still be on for some decent points here. It's a fairly quiet situation at the front, so we're going to have some great midfield action here, folks.
And the question is, when will Ash pit?
Oh, and Lordy diving down the inside. Aaron diving down the inside of Lordy boy, but Lordy boy, to his credit, somehow keeping in front of these guys. But Aaron on the inside. And look, watch out for XJackLacey round the outside of Lordy boy, going into the next corner.
He damaged his wing. He has. Oh, he's chipped his wing off behind Aaron.
Oh dear.
Another race ruined behind Aaron.
Ashbest pits from the lead of the race.
Supers.
Not ultra softs.
He is going to be extremely fast though. Can he beat AMS? I don't think he will. I don't think AMS will make it too hard for him. I know that there's potential to be teammates next season, so...
Ashbest then has 13 laps to get past AMS. If he can show lightning pace, I think he can get onto the top 3 by the end of the race. Cliffy at least.
Yeah.
The Haas on for a 1-2 right now.
A second a lap, I think he can do that. He was already 3/10 lap faster on those old supers compared to the softs that would have been getting better as the tyre life went on, so he's going to be extremely fast. He's got his wing, he's got no penalties, and it's game on for the win.
Yes, because don't forget, Lickle has a 3-second time penalty, Lewis has none, Cliffy has none, Ashbest has 3 seconds actually, because he made a mistake trying to pass AMS, so he's got to get a move on. So XJackLacey now trying to get down the inside of it. Oh, they touch, clumsy from XJackLacey. Aaron doesn't get spun round, but he kind of controls it. Lordy boy back in front of Aaron. He'll be really frustrated with that. So Ashbest, incredibly, already on the back of AMS.
He's gained a 1.5 seconds since he came out the pits. Incredible.
I don't think AMS has a prayer.
He's got no defence.
He's got no prayer of holding him back.
He's not trying.
No. Well, he's on old softs, and yeah, I think he knew the game was up. So up to 4th. So Ashbest 9 seconds behind Cliffy. So maybe the best part of 15 seconds behind Lickle at this point. Can he regain that time? Well, it's borderline. Lap 24, I think he's going to have to be lapping at least maybe the best part, maybe 1.5 seconds to win this race.
Yeah, and I think for Ash, if he can't win the race, he's got to at least outscore Cliffy here.
Absolutely. The 2 points difference between 4th and 3rd, sorry. So maybe even get past Lewis. But speaking of the battle for lead, the Haas cars holding station. I'm surprised, you know, that Lickle hasn't sort of being a teammate, but maybe that's his personality. But you would think he would let Lewis pass and go miles up the road. He's got a penalty, so if they stay like this, Lewis is going to win anyway. But maybe...
Yeah, but the... Sorry.
No. But yeah, maybe he's just being carried by the DRS of Lickle to sort of keep his pace up. I'm not sure.
I think there's an issue though, the fact that he can't get close enough to Lickle to make the switch. He's about, you know, second, 8 tenths at times. He's now dipped to 7 tenths. And
Lewis gets a time penalty. Oh, so Lickle, Lewis, Ashbest, all penalties. Cliffy does not have one, but he's not close enough to take advantage. And he's lost 1.5 seconds to Ashbest in a single lap.
Ash, on that last lap, did
it's in the 16s.
16.6 compared to Lickle doing an 18.8, 2 seconds. That is ridiculous.
Well, let's have a look.
Qualified pace.
Let's have a look to compare. Yes, look at that. Top 3 all in the 18s, and Ashbest just did a 1:16.618. That is incredible pace. I mean, if you look at the rest of the grid, that is by far the fastest driver on track right now. And he is a man on a mission.
Joe, in P6, he's got Max behind, he's got a penalty and a stop go, and he could find himself with more penalties than the stewards. Jack behind him, he's got damage as well as penalties. Joe could get P6 again this season. He's picking up these very good results here and there, isn't he, to defend his position in the league?
He certainly is. I mean, I think Joel, you know, he's been quietly very impressive in that Renault at times this season, as of course Iran has been with his points run. I think Renault have been, you know, probably the best of the midfield teams in terms of getting consistent points finishes between them. And they certainly won't be getting the wooden spoon this season. I think Sauber more than likely are going to be getting that. 5 second stop go for Lordy Boy. Lordy Boy's out of the race.
Will he leave? I hope he doesn't, because
he's
left so far.
That's a very unusual place to crash right before the end of the lap. So he must have hit the curb or something like that, but hopefully he stays in the session. I did leave a message in the F1 chat before the race, just pleading with everybody to stay in the race if you retire, because XJackLacey gets a 3 second time penalty. So Lewis under half a second behind, and my goodness, Ashbest now 4.1 seconds behind Ashbest. Cliffy, I don't think he's going to have a prayer of holding back Ashbest here, even if he defends, because he's just not going to have the tyres.
Ash is in the low 17s. That is 1.5 seconds a lap faster. He's definitely going to catch up, but can he win? That's a different story.
Well, lap 27, it's at this pace, I think he could be on the Haas drivers, maybe the penultimate lap. It's going to be nip and tuck, but it's going to depend how quickly he can get past Cliffy. But I suspect the pace he's got, he should in theory, but as we know, similar setups here, very difficult to overtake.
Within 4 laps, he has gained 7 seconds. So I don't think it's a question if he can get on the back, I just think it's when he'll get on the back.
So 20 people watching the stream right now, thank you very much. If you enjoyed this race, please leave a like, that'd be much appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Weekly schedule of gaming content on GamingAlimonda. As we enter the final part of this race, we only have 2 races after this one. USA next week and then Japan for the season finale. And judging by the results, and if Ashbest can get past Cliffy, I don't think Cliffy's going to be, you know, any closer to winning the championship at this point. Ashbest now 2.2 seconds. He'll be in DRS range by the end of lap 28, I suspect. Maybe before.
Maybe even, yeah. I mean, look at that. The confidence this man has got. Well, he's not around yet, is he? He's only 13 years of age. That is scary, how quick he is.
It is indeed. We are seeing something special. You know, if he doesn't end up winning the championship this season, then he is certainly one who's going to be a future champion if he can keep this sort of performance up in terms of his race pace. He had some patchy results early on the season that could turn out to be the reason why he doesn't win it, but he certainly had a couple of performances, especially that race at Belgium. Oh, kick up oversteer from Ashbest. You can tell how much he wants this. Cliffy, well, if he wasn't under pressure before, I mean, this could be the defining moment of Ashbest's season. Because if he can just, if he can make a 2-stop work and still easily, you know, finish ahead of Cliffy, that could be quite a hammer blow for Cliffy to overcome in the final 2 races. And he struggles through the S's. In DRS range now, Maxi up is fighting with Joel, but I can't take my eyes off this, because this is a really huge moment in the race.
He's like the Max Verstappen of PSGL F1 He's feisty and he's undoubtedly rapid and a talent for the future. And he's right behind. I don't think Cliffy's going to have much defensive, but he does get a good exit in fairness.
Yeah.
Ash now into the 18s.
Cliffy goes defensive. Skeevan retires, and that's the end of a sad race for Toro Rosso driver. He was so impressive early on. A few individual mistakes creeping in. Cliffy goes defensive as he has to. Ashbest goes late on the brakes. Can he hold it round the outside? Nearly does. Cliffy, I think he saw it coming, to be fair. Equally good braking from both. So Cliffy keeps in front for now. This is really helping the Haas drivers out front. Yeah, well, he's just telling Cliffy, I'm right here, my friend. I'm filling your mirrors. So the top two in the championship then. This is what we've wanted to see. A wheel-to-wheel battle between the top two drivers at the moment in this PSGL F1 league. Cliffy on much older tyres, Ashbest on fresh super softs. And yes, as Green says, great run by Ashbest. As we end the end of sector 2. Oh, they touch.
Leaving room. Oh,
no.
That's good defending, in fairness.
No, he does not. He got the elbows out, but now Ashbest is in complete DRS range now. But again, Cliffy, good exit from him. So now what can Ashbest do?
Cliffy's got it. Cliffy's got it from Shortbread's AI card. That is extremely lucky.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And the Shortbread's AI car pits to add insult to injury to Ashbest because he didn't get it himself.
Oh dear.
6 seconds for Lewis now. Well, surely Lickle, if he has any shred of dignity as a teammate, surely he's got to let Lewis pass and get that gap, because he's just basically costing Lewis any chance of, closing the gap in the championship with the points. Because if Cliffy somehow holds Ashbest off, Lewis could gain on both of them.
I mean, this is make or break now. He's got to get past Cliffy on this lap or the next DRS straight on the main straight, because he's losing so much time. Through
the S's they go. Oh, Cliffy struggling with front grid, and this time he's going to be very vulnerable. So I think Ashbest will look for this. Oh, is that a move round the outside? They touch.
Cliffy squeezes him.
Oh, Ashbest has the better grip.
Touch again.
Oh, Ashbest, he's got it done. Yeah, that was an intense battle. That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant racing from both. Bit of contact, but it was fair. Ashbest using the superior grip in the final section, same section. The crowd would have loved that. Ashbest now, 7.2 seconds. Oh, I think it's too much. Maybe not to catch Lewis though, because of his 6-second time penalty, but to win the race, because he's got 3 seconds. Lickle does as well. So I think to win the race.
10th between the top two. Sorry to interrupt. I thought he'd go for the move there, but yeah, as you said, Ash, you've got to get a move on now. It looks like he will get Lewis, but he's got 2 cars to pass for the race lead. That's too much.
Well, he's already got it down to 6.7. He can't quite see the Haas cars yet, but it's like a hungry dog on a chain with a bone being dangled right in front of him. Ashbest, he's going for what in my opinion would be the best win of his career if he gets it. Even better than Belgium, given the circumstances, given the traffic he's had to fight through.
He gained 6 tenths through the S's alone. That is the amount of grip he's got more. I think the rest of the lap, the softs are they're hanging up well, but through the middle sector he's gaining unbelievable amount of time. Can he get back in 17s, 17.8? I think he's got a chance here. He has got a chance.
He has 5.6, and especially as Lickle's pace seemed to be dropping off a little bit. I think the soft runners are really struggling now, as they've been on those tyres a long time.
Lickle is 1 warning away from a second penalty, so he's got to keep it on the road.
He's got to, because Ashbest might not even have to get all those seconds back. Lewis has 6.
Is it raining? It's raining.
Raining?
It's raining. If you look up, I think. I don't know
it
if
is.
I'm going crazy, but
no, it is.
It looks like it is.
Where did this come from? This wasn't predicted. Wow.
It's like 2008, Brazil all over again.
Oh, and Ashbest, he probably can't believe it. Well,
does this favour him though on those fresh tyres?
Yes,
struggle.
It will for a bit in the transition. Depends how quick the transition is.
I don't think they can pit. They can't afford to pit. They can't.
No, the transition won't. The transition will probably not switch over until maybe the last lap. You know.
Yeah, it could be a very, very cautious final lap.
Indeed, it is. I really wish I could see the comments in the chat because they must be going crazy right now at this amazing conclusion we're about to have in. And now Lewis is looking for a move on his teammate. Lickleblocks is struggling more with tyre wear, I think. 4.6 seconds between Ashbest and Lewis right now. And I think Lewis has got to, it really is, Lewis has got to try and get past his teammate and then just get away, run away as far as he can. Because as long as Ashbest gets no more penalties, he's going to finish ahead of Lewis if he keeps gaining the time he is. I mean, look how painfully slow those two Haas cars, and look at that, Lickle lets his teammate through at last.
Yeah, very good, very respectful. But is it too late? I think too late, and 4 seconds between Lewis and Ash.
3.4. It's a terrible S section from Lickle, although I wonder if Lickle is going to back off on purpose and try and you know, back Ashbest up so that Lewis can win this race. Well, Lewis was the outsider going into this race in terms of the title, but if he ends up winning this race, then the freeway title battle is still on for the final round. As we start lap 34, 3 seconds now between Ashbest and Lickle, and he's already dropped Cliffy by 7 seconds.
Yeah, Ash 1 second faster than Lewis in the last lap. So I don't think he can do it, to be honest. 3 laps to go.
Very sorry to the midfield. I usually cover them more during the races, but the battle for the lead has been so intriguing. I think this has been the best battle for the lead this season because it's the strategies have really opened it up, and now it's 2.8. The transition, it's not raining that hard yet. I get the sense though, last few corners from Ashbest, that the rain is starting to settle a little bit. He's still closing, 2.5 seconds. 3 laps to go, well, 2.5 laps to go of this race. It's been a thriller in Mexico City, no question. Lewis has got to keep it on the road, but I've got to say, Lewis is not, because of the rain, he's not really able to use the slicks to get away from his teammate because he's got 6 seconds, don't forget. Lickle is 3, but only 1 warning, as Green mentioned earlier. It's now 1.9.
Brilliant. This is getting super tight. At the moment, Lickle is on to get his first victory, but I'm sure Ash has got an answer for that. 2 laps remaining. He's faster than them considerably. But what will happen? It could be a last lap showdown.
Yeah, it could be, or it could come down to a penalty. Ashbest, you know, I think he'd settle for 2nd place at this point. Cliffy, unfortunately, just doesn't have the pace, and he's not going to be able to take advantage of any penalties, so 4th is the best position he's going to be. So if Ashbest can get 2nd, he will gain 4 points on Cliffy, so that would reduce the point to 10 points, but still 2 more laps to go as the rain falls ever harder. Ashbest, we know that Ashbest has been really good in the rain this season, so he won't be phased by this whatsoever. Oh, Skeevan's left the session, but well, the slipstream glitch isn't such a big deal when it rains, to be fair. So I'm surprised Skeevan left, given how the race is going right now. XJackLacey picks up another time penalty. He's running in 9th at the moment. Aaron, though, he's running in the points in 10th. Well, Bixie's gone on to Inters. Well, that's very interesting. And I tell you what, I think the cutoff is right now. Look how close it is. The top 3.
6 tenths.
It's going to come down to this, the final lap. Lickle trying to desperately defend from his teammate, and Ashbest. This is a do or die moment for Lewis and Lickle and Ashbest. Who's going to get the brakes right? Who's got the grip? Ashbest having a look. Oh, it just wasn't close enough. Oh, the 2 Haas cars. Lickle gets a penalty. Lickle gets a penalty.
Oh, it's Ash's. This is unbelievable.
Ashbest doesn't even need to overtake them, but does he even know? Oh, it's a huge mistake from the Haas teammate.
He's sticking behind.
Oh, Lewis goes so wide.
The grip has gone completely. Look how slow they're going. They're struggling so much for traction.
I know.
This is unbelievable.
Oh, that lapped car. Oh, and Shortbread actually got on us. Big C actually.
Big C.
Yeah, so Big C getting lapped in a race. When has that ever happened? He's had a terrible race, really, but more to come from him. So Big C retires. I think that was insult to injury. But look at this. Lickle. They've both got 6 second penalties. I wonder if they're in the same chat on the mic.
He's going for it.
He is going for it. Oh no.
I think Ash knows.
Top 3.
Backed off. I think he knows.
The confetti.
He's win the Mexican Grand Prix.
The confetti's in the air, and I do think, unless he's got more penalties on this lap, we haven't seen, Ashbest is going to win this race. Lewis crosses the line. Oh, what on earth! Oh my God, Lewis has crashed! Oh my goodness! What happened? Oh, Lewis, the 2 teammates touch.
Championship up in smoke.
Ashbest wins. Cliffy will take 3rd.
What a win!
Oh,
that is an unbelievable race.
That is the most dramatic moment I've ever seen in a race. The 2 Haas teammates colliding, and their relationship as teammates is completely finished.
Oh dear, Cliffy gets P3. Wow.
AMS 4.
Lewis, what has he done?
I want to see that again, but there's no replay feature, but that was unbelievable.
That might have beaten Frizzer. That might have beaten Frizzer.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Lewis did that on purpose, unlike Frizzo, but it was certainly
meters before the line.
I know. I've never seen that happen in an actual racing incident. Lewis
P5. What a finish that is for him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Oogie 7th. Iran gets points again, and I tell you what, there was Big C retiring, and I think Paudie is going to cross the line to get the final championship point because of that.
Well deserved for him, but Oogie had to cut at the end of lap 1, and he got P6 in the end. Unbelievable.
Wow, great drive. Well, that is an unbelievable finish. Well, we're going to get the podium in here shortly, but we're going to enjoy the celebration. Ashbest has pulled off an even greater victory than the one in Belgium to ignite his championship bid. He's gained 6 points on Cliffy today, so it's 8 points between the top 2 going into the USA and Japanese races. But Lewis, spare a thought for him. He would have got 2nd at least. Whether he lost control or it looked like he made contact with his teammate, but that is his championship over, barring something spectacular in the final 2 races. So Ashbest takes the victory. Lickle with an impressive 2nd, to be fair. Cliffy with a very fortuitous 3rd. I don't think he expected to be on the podium. AMS in 4th, Joel in 5th, Oogie in 6th, Maxi in 7th, Iran in 8th, back in the points, XJackLacey in 9th, Paudie in 10th. Stick around, folks, because we are going to speak to Iran later on, because he's got an announcement to make. Quite a few retirements during that race, but, well, I don't know what you people think in the chat, but, you know, let us know what you thought of that incident. I would love to read it when I look at the stream later. I can't see the comments right now. I've got them on my phone, but I can't see them as I'd like. So, we're going to invite the podium in, they being Ashbest, Lickle and Cliffy. Let me know, Green, when they're all in here. But
I've invited them, but I've just got to say, that is the best race, in my opinion, of the season, and the best fight for the lead. What a victory for Ash. And, yeah, that was just brilliant.
Yeah, an unbelievable incident right on the line. That will be talked about all the way deep into next season, let alone this one. Just going to have a quick look at the director just to see a little bit of the story here. So yeah, Big C did go on the inters in the end, but it was somewhat too late. So we've got Ashbest joining. We're just going to wait on Cliffy. So that was an incredible race. So gonna get out of this actually.
Yeah, the time is going. Well, we've got the podium in. Do you want to ask the first question?
Yes, so we are joined by the podium for the PSGL Mexican Grand Prix. First of all, Ashbest, even though you dominated at Belgium, that's got to be surely, given the strategy and the traffic you had to deal with, the biggest win of your career in PSGL so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, Belgium, that was just a straight cruise to finish with 20+ second gap. It wasn't much fun, but this race, oh my god. Lots of challenges were thrown at me, and I overcame them, and then, oh, just when that rain came by, I was literally so scared because I knew I wouldn't be gaining as much, but apparently I just kept on gaining and gaining until the last lap, and then I heard you say that Lickle had another 3-second time penalty, so I just straight away backed off and kept a decent gap between those two.
Right, well, Greeny, I'm sure the question you'll be asking to Lickle is about you-know-what, so I'll leave this to you.
Yeah, I've got to say, great drive from you, Lickle. I know we've had our differences, but I've got to say, was Lewis very annoyed during that race that you wouldn't let him through, given the fact that he is in the title fight?
No, he weren't really speaking during the thing, like the race, as we are normally in the party, so he weren't really even getting close to me. He was just constantly keeping that gap like 5, 4, 6 tenths every lap, so didn't see why I had to let him through. And plus, I have to try and make a point to try to stay in F1 next season, so I was trying to get the win, and yeah, I got a BS pen at the end.
Yeah, I completely agree. And do you want to sum up your emotions through that race?
It was a good race until the last lap, where of course I got my pen that should not stand because I was round Louis outside, and then he just cut across, and then he's like touched me a bit, and then he's pushed me on to the corner cutting bit and gave me a pen. So personally, I feel kind of robbed of a win.
Yeah, unlucky. And you touched many a times, especially in that final stint. At any point, did you think you were both going to crash?
No, but at the end I didn't actually hit him. He spun and then he bounced off into me.
Yep.
I didn't touch him.
Monumental mistake.
The thing, I thought people think that I hit him into the wall when I didn't touch him at all.
No.
Yeah.
We saw on stream you certainly didn't. I think he just lit up the rears, and well, that's the biggest retirement of the season.
Without doubt. But we are joined by the driver who, in all of this, is still leading the championship. About his gap has been cut again. Cliffy, on the last lap you must have been resigned to getting 4th place, but you know, when you suddenly saw Lewis had retired, you couldn't believe your luck, right?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't get any more lucky even if I tried. But yeah, I've just got it all wrong today, to be honest. Set up, race, I didn't hardly done any sort of race practice, sort of mainly focused on quality practice. But yeah, I mean, to get the podium, oh, I'm shocked. But it's literally so much expected.
So Ashbest, back to you. You had the best viewpoint of the incident between the two Haas drivers. What was your take on it?
Well, at first, when I just saw that Louis was sliding, I thought like he was going to he was just celebrating, but then Lickle hit the back, and I was literally shocked by that. I could not believe that. And well, I was getting the win either way if I didn't crash or get another warning, but oh my god, that incident, that's a bit controversial.
Yep, certainly was. So, Luke, I'd like you to invite Big C and Iran into the party.
Yep, I've just got a question for Ash and for Cliffy, and the question is, well, basically, I want you to sum up your battle from both sides, because that was a great battle, and it almost cost you the race win, didn't it, Ash?
Yeah, so, where should I begin? I came on the back of Cliffy, and, well, I was saying fastest laps behind him, I think. And, well, Cliffy, I hope you realised that, or else that was barely any point in doing that. Yeah, I wanted to scare him a bit, but that didn't happen, and he was really defending very well. I mean, he was very, very good, and it was a bit frustrating, but at the same time I loved it. Frustrating for the point that I needed to catch the horses, but loving it because I'm actually going to battle my championship rival.
Yep. and very good words. So Cliffy, your before we speak to Aaron and Big C, your championship lead has been cut to 8 points. So US and Japan races, are they two tracks that favour you, or you know, are you just desperately trying to crawl over the line now to win that title?
I like USA a lot. I feel like I've got really good pace there. So starting to get into crunch time now, and I need to sort of do a lot more practice than what I'm doing at the moment, because it's not enough. Ash is doing a lot more practice than me, and it's showing, not just by quality pace, but you know, strategy as well. With the 2-stop today he done, he deserved the win today. But yeah, you know, I've just got to come back next week and hopefully try and beat him.
Fantastic. Right then, so we're joined by 7-time PSGL F1 champion Big C and 3-time champion Aaron. Aaron, you have something to say tonight, I believe, which Connor mentioned to me earlier. And welcome to the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my last 3 races in the league, but I will be moving to another division hopefully, so I hope to enjoy that. I've enjoyed my time racing here, so you know, thanks to everybody who's made it, you know, enjoyable. But today's race was good fun, but I'm just a little bit gutted because I was on for my first top 7 finish of the season, and unfortunately in this league people just think it's okay to dive it down the inside in corners where they're not meant to, and that I had 2 half spins during that race, unfortunately. They've both forced the drivers out. Apologise, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, happy with 8th. My joint best result of the season, but started to miss out on 7th and above.
So over to you, Connor. Obviously, you've known Aaron for many years on this site, long before a little schmuck like me was around. So obviously, you had some great battles with him for the championship over the years. So he will certainly be a big miss to PSGL F1.
Yeah, no, certainly. I mean, I know obviously you guys don't really get to see, you know, how good Aaron was. You know, Aaron was amazing. You know, he is the best driver race, you know, in PSGL. You know, he was that good back then. So it's a shame. Obviously, you know, the form isn't quite what it is, but no, he's a good friend, and yeah, he's a great racer. And you know, I've done like 11 seasons with him. I did like other seasons, different leagues. So for the last 6.5 years, you know, he's always been there in the lobby, always in the voice chat. So yeah, I'll miss him a lot personally. And yeah, he's done a lot for the league, so all the best for F4.
Thank you. I'd just like to add, I'm happy to get one last upper hand on him.
I'd also like to add that as a person who was quite scared of Aaron going into the season with our little tussles, he'll be missed on the grid because he's definitely charismatic and he adds a lot to the grid.
Yep.
Yeah. Would like to shout out for Lordy Boy, sorry. Drove brilliantly well on the grid after some of his battles, really enjoyed them, so credit to him, he was one of the few drivers who kept it clean.
So my only other question for Aaron is this: if you're not racing in F1 next season, are you going to join me into the commentary booth a few times for PSGL F1?
Oh, I'd love to, mate. It's easier being in the combox for the F1 league than it is being out there on track, scrubbing around for those final points. So,
well, the invite is there, no question. If Greeny carries on next season, we would definitely both love you in the box, no question about it. Right, well, folks, that was a very dramatic race with a slightly sad announcement afterwards. But the one thing we can certainly look forward to: 2 rounds to go. We have a title battle on our hands. So we will see you next week for the United States Grand Prix. Same time, Monday, 8 PM. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.